Welcome back, Mojo Sports, episode 45. And we just got done with the best week of the year, and that's March Madness week. And now it's the worst day of the year, the Monday after. So, Joe, how is your March Madness hangover feeling?
Yeah, it was good. I went to Idaho this weekend. It's my mom's 60th birthday. Shout out. So to add insult to injury of the Monday hangover, I got in, like midnight. So not only was I traveling on the Sunday of the best weekend of the year, I then had to face the consequences Monday of the hangover, like you're talking about. So yeah, wasn't my best day today.
Idaho, that's got to be at the bottom of my list of places to watch March Madness.
Yeah, well,
Thoughts?
you don't know ball, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You get out there, there's nobody bother you out in the sticks. There's stars there. I don't know if you've ever seen stars, but they got stars there. There's no smog. Yeah, it's nice.
And you got to watch all the games.
Yeah, they do have internet, running water, live TV. Yeah, yeah, they had them.
That's better than I thought. All right. So Idaho just went up in my book.
It's arguably the
Not
best on the plane too because you get absolutely no distractions. You have no choice but to just sit there and lock into the ball. And I did that, and sweating a bet on top of that. It's, as much as I was complaining about the travel, you have an excuse to not do anything.
nothing. What was the sweatiest bet this week that you had?
I think it was like a 7-team parlay. Came down to UCLA minus 5.5 was the last leg. So it was like whatever, $20 to win 650. And I don't know if anybody watched that game, but it was a horrific beat for the UCLA minus 5.5. They were up 6, about to get fouled, go up hopefully 8, maybe 7. Still puts you in a good spot to get fouled again. Point guard just decides to immediately dribble the ball out of bounds. And I don't know who was on the ads campaign, who's working the ads on the broadcast, but I'm pretty sure either the first or the second ad was that stupid fucking NCAA one where they're like, hey, don't threaten athletes that make bad plays. And I was like, yeah, whoever put this on there knows what they're doing, because I was drafting some emails to that guy. So yeah, that one, he owes me $600. I'm sure that's exactly what he was thinking about after they won and advanced.
You think the commercial person, you think they just have that loaded, ready to go whenever
It's,
it
yeah,
fucks up at the
it's
end?
like if they miss a buzzer beater, it's like, play it, hit it.
Play it. Yeah. They just like play it like 20 times, only though in the final 2 minutes of a game. Yeah.
It's like, hey, remember, this is a game and these guys are real people. Don't send death threats on their girlfriend's IG comments.
At least they don't do the handles anymore. They used to do like handle next to the kid's name. I think they got away from that for good reason.
They don't do it in the NFL though. They basically like beg you to hate on the guys in the NFL or NBA, whatever. So I get it. They're amateurs, except they're getting paid millions of dollars. I don't know.
Good for the sport,
Yeah.
some would argue,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. And Joe, it was an awesome weekend in my opinion. I know some people they said it wasn't the most exciting first two rounds that they had seen. Are you part of that party? Do you think it was like a snooze?
No, no. I mean, you had every favorite win on Saturday or Friday.
Mm.
Friday 16-0. But I think people are a little overblown with the upsets. I think the people that are like upset hungry are, maybe they have a selective memory, but it's not like if you look at the breakdown of champions who's actually won the NCAA tournament, it's like 60 something percent one seeds, and then it goes down from there. So like the upsets are great. And don't get me wrong, I love we all love upsets. That's March Madness. But like to say that a tournament's bad because it's not just full of high points, beating Wisconsin, like I thought even Saturday or Friday was okay. It wasn't the best day, but then Saturday and Sunday were fucking awesome. So I just no, I'm not in that camp at all.
Yeah, even if it's not a Cinderella upset, we still got huge shots. We still had game-winning shots. We had a true buzzer beater where there's no inbound after the play. And now we look at the Sweet 16. Sweet 16's loaded. Now you get a bunch of good matchups. So I don't really care if it's a high point or a Drake, something like that. It doesn't need to be that. I just want exciting games. And there's still teams that we thought are way better. They're head above the other ones. And these games are all really tight. And if you just have one bad weekend, that's it for you. And we saw that with Iowa, Florida, right? Nobody's going to call Iowa a Cinderella necessarily, but to me, that's a huge upset. And I don't think anybody was expecting that. I mean, the line was 10.5. Some of us sharps, we were on plus 10.5, Iowa. No sweat. Too much of a pussy to bet the money line, as usual.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot more parity in college basketball than pretty much any other sport because you still have these like Queens isn't even a college anymore next year, and they're in the tournament. Yeah, like was it a win? No, it wasn't a win, but like I don't know. I just feel like Queens goes up against Purdue, it gets smoked. They're Purdue's one of the best teams in the country, but you still got to see it, right? And then you have High Point, not the same level as Wisconsin athletically, but it's a random ass school you never heard of, Long Island. Like I just feel like you get these games, and yeah, maybe they're blowouts, but then you do get the couple crazy times that it happens, and that's why it's fun, is because it's the couple times that it's crazy and it happens. If it was parity across the board, the shit wouldn't be as fun. Like you have the best teams, and sometimes the best teams get knocked out, and that's the tournament. So I just don't get it. But you see it in every other sport. There's the Dodgers in the MLB. That seems like way more unfair. Watching them play the A's or something like that is way less fun to me than watching Hofstra. Like I bet on Hofstra. We were all on Hofstra. We thought maybe they beat Bama, and did they? No, they lost by 20. But that little bit of glimmer of hope.
It was a good scrap.
Right. And did Siena almost took down Duke. Like Duke was probably the best team in the tournament, if not, top 2-3 seeds. Like I don't know. I hate those arguments, and I think people just are upset hungry.
Right. And there's a difference between Cinderellas and parity.
Yep.
This doesn't mean that there's not parity. Because like you said, there's multiple teams that can win it. And every year it's still changing. It's still changing. We'll have 4 1 seeds every year. And those 4 1 seeds are better than everybody else. But it's not the same 4 1 seeds. Whereas in football, we always saw Alabama. We always saw Georgia. For a while, we always saw Clemson. So at least we get a mix up of that. I mean, I'm looking at Duke, and you would think Duke goes to the Sweet 16, Final Four every year. And when you're looking at these team stats, that's just not the case.
No, I also think the NIL is ruining college basketball. Like, you can kind of miss me with that because some of the top paid dudes, right? You had BYU paid their roster a ton of money. Texas Tech paid their roster a ton of money. A couple injuries and those teams are out. So NIL doesn't just necessarily buy you. Look at Oregon in college football. You can't buy your way into a national title. You can get close. You can get real damn close, but at the end of the day, it's going to be, it's still a sport. That's why they play the game on the court and not, at Wells Fargo.
Right. And well, my favorite moment of the weekend was High Point taking down Wisconsin. Now, we got some Badger fans out there, not going to love that. But the game was electric, and it still felt like Wisconsin was going to win at the end. And then we get Chase Johnston, his first 2-pointer of the season, to win the game. And even the shot he had before that, where he pulled up from nearly half court, like that is so March Madness to me, so perfect. He's got the look. Everybody posted like memes before the tournament. They're like, who's the white kid gonna be this year that goes off? And Chase Johnson, he becomes a star overnight. That's March Madness for you.
Yeah, no, it fits the bill. I thought the same thing about St. John's and their buzzer beater. Kid hadn't scored a field goal all game. Last name Darling. Like you just can't. You literally cannot script it any better. And watching that's one there too, where it's like St. John's is, yes, they're a basketball powerhouse, but they haven't been right for a decent amount of time. And then they come in and beat Bill Self in Kansas, and it's like kids on SportsCenter talking about his grandparents watching the game. Like that's what March Madness is. And now we get some crazy good Sweet 16 matchups, but that's the type of shit that you watch for, and I feel like that's those are the moments. It was the same thing with Kentucky and Santa Clara. Santa Clara should have won that game. Like Santa Clara had that game, and then just pissed it away in overtime. And what did you think about that call? Should he have got the timeout? Was the coach not yelling enough? Santa Clara's head coach trying to call a timeout right before Kentucky goes down, ties it up with like a half court shot.
Joe, you asked the perfect person. I am a Kentucky better, so I've already got an argument for you. As soon as the shot was made, the kid was already inbounding the ball, and he didn't get it in time. Like it was just too bang bang, didn't get it. He would argue that the ref should know that any logical coach is going to call a timeout right there. So the ref should have been looking, but that's on the ref. Ref missed it. He turned away too fast. And by the time he would have seen it, they're already playing basketball. So
Yeah.
I
Is it?
defend it, but
Go
that's
ahead.
only because I had money on Kentucky.
Yeah, same. No, I had the same. I thought it was a great call. The
Great call.
I've been telling everybody, and I just take this as fact. I don't know if it's actually true, but the refs get graded, right? Like they move on, like based on their performance in the games. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. If not, I've told probably 100 people that as like my fun fact for the tournament. But I'm pretty sure they get like a ref score, and then the refs move on based on how how you ref. So I think you should be able to bet on that. By the way, I know that causes a huge issue for fixing games, but I would bet on that, and I think a lot of people would bet on that.
It would make refs way more popular.
Yeah.
Refs are like pulling up to games in limousines wearing Beats by Dre.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. No, I can't. It'd be so bad. I don't know though if they do that or not. That's the first time I've ever
Well,
like
see,
heard
I'm
of them.
just that's just fun fact. You go ahead. I'm gonna look that up just to make
Yeah,
sure.
it's worth a Google. I think I was under the assumption that they pick them during the regular season or like after the regular season. Uh, but who knows? I think though in the Kentucky game, like that shot was better than any shot I've seen in the last few years, right? Like recent memory, that one I think tops the list because the dagger right before that, Santa Clara
It
just
was
like, I've
over.
got this
Yep.
in the bag. And I had a buddy that was watching the game, and I told him, I was like, he was like 30 seconds behind me. I was like, you gotta watch, you gotta watch. And he's like, oh, you already spoiled it. I already know what's gonna happen, a buzzer beater. And I'm like, shut up, just watch. You don't know what's gonna happen. And then I can hear him, and he's like, oh, what do you know? A buzzer beater. Oh. And then like he like looks away and just like starts like doing something. And then he looks back at the TV like 20 seconds later. I thought he had seen it. He hadn't. He's like, wait, why are they going to overtime? And I'm like, brother, I told you to just sit there and watch. Kentucky last second hits it. But yeah,
That was sick.
premature.
It was sick. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Premature.
They get NCAA referees are rigorous. Holy fuck. There we go. I'm going to start over. NCAA refs are graded to advance in the tournament on every whistle, mobility, management of crucial moments by regional advisors after each round. Roughly half the teams are officiated and retained for the next rounds. Only the highest graded refs move on.
They get graded on mobility. That was one of the things.
One of the things, yeah. It says communication, management of major moments, mobility. Yeah, it's probably. I'm telling you, that's my. I'm so glad I wasn't lying to those 100 people because that's a super fun fact that not a lot of people know.
That is a fun fact. I wonder, yeah, how much gossip goes on in that circle if these guys are, trying to bring each other down so that they can get the leg up for the natty.
Oh yeah.
Probably vicious.
Oh yeah. No, that shit's competitive. That's why you see those guys in the championship game, and they're tight because it's like they've won themselves their own tournament. They've got to make money for a couple extra weeks.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to stop rigging, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can't it's probably not, yeah, you probably still pay them off.
The NBA would never.
No. Yeah. My favorite moment though, hands down, it's Nebraska Vandy. I thought that was one of the best games of the weekend. It was just back and forth, constant blows. Nebraska's fan base showed up. I'm a Nebraska alum, so I fucking loved it. Everybody thought they'd be out, lose to Troy that first round, the curse would stay. Now they're in a Sweet 16, and we get Nebraska, Iowa, just like the good Lord intended. It's a sweet, sweet matchup. But that Nebraska Vanderbilt game was unbelievable, and there was a lot of people on Twitter saying the balls are too inflated, and that's why Vanderbilt didn't hit that shot. Because if you saw some of the pictures online, I mean, the ball was in the hoop, like it went in, and then somehow, the corn gods popped it right back out. So unbelievable game. That was my favorite game of the weekend, no doubt.
Team of Destiny vibes from Nebraska,
Yep.
honestly. And Vanderbilt, I bet on Vanderbilt. Actually, no, I didn't for that game. I take that back. But they could bitch all they want because they weren't bitching about the balls being too bouncy for the first 39 minutes of the game.
Yeah. They almost lost to McNeese too. McNeese pushed him.
McNasty. Yeah, that's a good defense over there. They
Mm-hmm.
play good ball down there in Lake Charles. I've seen it in person. Stadium named after Joe Dumars, most famous McNeese alum. So that's a little fun fact for you.
That's a good
But
fact.
Nebraska, this team's they like to muck it up, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like. They like to get physical down there, and we'll get to the Sweet 16 matchups, but that seems also like what Iowa likes to do, and we might be in for a gross game, but I want to say congrats to you, Nebraska. First tournament win, followed up immediately by a Sweet 16 entrance. So
Yeah. Hang the
nice shout
banner.
out to the Corn family.
Yep. That's I think there's going to be more Nebraska Iowa fans. Whoever wins that game, they may outnumber. I'm assuming Houston moves on. I think Houston's going to be Illinois. We'll talk about it, but I think they're going to outnumber Houston fans in Houston, Iowa or Nebraska. They travel well. It's nasty.
It's going to be really tough to judge from the broadcast.
Yeah, just red.
Both wear red. Yes.
You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Well, I know what I'll be doing Friday, and that's watching Corn because I love to watch Corn. You sickos. Also, I wanted to bring up we talked about High Point, but like High Point also played an amazing game against Arkansas.
Yeah.
That was one of the more fun games, even though it didn't come down to a final shot or anything like that. It felt like Arkansas was in control, and then the second half, High Point just kept battling, kept coming back, and it was really tight. And I think everybody in the nation watching the game was like, "Whoa, these guys are on the same level, right?" If you don't have Acuff over there making all these plays, there's a chance they pull this game out. A really good chance at that. So, I just thought that was probably one of the more fun games I had watching, despite it not being an epic ending.
Yeah. Utah State pushed Arizona too. That was pretty fun. I mean, the score doesn't show that at the end, but shout out the Mountain West. That was a good showing by Utah State. Gonzaga, I mean, disappointing. They had some injuries, but is Texas a Cinderella? I mean, we have Texas, Iowa, 11-9. You have to be like a small school, right? That's the definition of Cinderella. It can't be the biggest budgets in college athletics and then make a run.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Cinderella. Although I don't think they're that good. I'm sorry, I don't think they are, but the metrics say they are, and they're doing well right now. So tough for me. Maybe I'm just salty because I didn't take them in any brackets. But we already know every year, right? One of the play-in teams, one of the 11 seeds, every year is going to make the Sweet 16. It happens nonstop.
Yeah.
And if you want to look into Texas, you have been to 40 NCAA tournaments, which, if we look at this Sweet 16, that's the second most behind Duke. They've been in the tournament 40 times. They have 0 championships to their name, and they only have 3 Final Four appearances. So, not great.
No.
Now, I will say, I do love Sean Miller, head coach. Used to be at Arizona. I was telling my fiance, I said, "Hey, look up Sean Miller sweat." I said, "That's what he's known for." And she could not believe the picture. She said, "Why would he even wear this button-up shirt?" I noticed, though, he did switch to a quarter zip,
Yep.
which is a nice touch. And in the postgame, he was electric, too. I loved his postgame speech because he was like, "I'm going to take a lot of credit for this win, honestly, because I threw a shooter that wasn't playing all game. He was like, I put him in for this exact moment because a lot of times there's a wide open kick at the end. And sure enough, what happened? The guy hit it. So he's like, guys played great, but I want you guys to know I'm taking credit for this win.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I mean, I have Purdue moving on, so I'm hoping they can get the win. But him playing Arizona, if Arizona were to win too, that'd be an all time storyline in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I always liked him at Arizona. The problem was he could just never win the big one. Like he would always fall short in the tournament, but
Didn't he get
always had.
he got fired for like a cheating scandal, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was having to do with DeAndre Ayton getting
Right.
paid some. Which shout out, I'm wearing a DeAndre Ayton jersey right now on stream.
That was part of that whole like FBI thing, wasn't it? Where he was
Yeah,
like
they like tapped the agents'
Adidas.
phones.
Yeah. And now they're
Yeah.
just opening. Yeah, it's so
Hey,
stupid.
that sounds like cheating to me. You
Yeah.
guys had to tap phones just
Yeah.
to catch us? That's cheating in itself.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the Bama? Apparently the Bama guy, Weedman, I can't even remember his name, but he's coming back, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Aiden Holloway.
Aiden
And
Holloway.
yeah, possibly come back because now they're like, oh, wait, we actually have a chance. Hear me out, guys. Let's push this hearing back. All right. And maybe work some stuff out. How about this? We make a plea deal. He gets 5 years or he wins you a natty and he gets off free.
You
That sounds like a good
imagine?
deal.
Like, hey, if you win a national title, you have you're out. You're off scot free.
Yeah, I would take his over on point immediately. You couldn't put a line high enough. The guy's fighting for life out there.
Yeah, I want him back. I want a full force Alabama because they look good right now, and if they can score against Michigan, I think they can knock Michigan out.
They do look good. They shit on Texas Tech last night.
Shit on
Uh,
them.
Texas Tech could not score, couldn't get anything going. And Bama, yeah, they're almost playing better than they have all year. And we'll see how they match up in the next round because I think Texas Tech was also banged up, like they're missing Toppin. If they had Toppin, I thought that's a possible national championship team.
Yep.
So we'll have to see on that. I thought another great game from the first round was VCU North Carolina. And I think it's time for a new coach. I mean, I was
Yeah.
already talking about it last week's episode, but now you have no reason you should ever lose that game in any way. They were up 18 in the second half and completely blunder. In the last 30 seconds of the game, they were actively trying to give the game away.
Yep.
Like, here, I don't want the ball. You take it, VCU. You try to win this game. It was disgusting. So I think Hubie might be gone.
Yeah, I think so too. I had VCU winning that game just because North Carolina's injuries, but the coaching problems became very apparent in that game, and that was really ugly. So, and then Illinois just beating the doors off them in the next round just kind of showed that North Carolina should have never lost that game. But maybe they can blame it on injury or whatever. But yeah, he's gone. He's for sure gone. They're already talking about replacements. They're not even talking about him being fired anymore. They're just like, who's the next coach at North Carolina?
Which, if we do get a North Carolina opening, obviously huge like coaching job to land. And then there's talks about Kansas, who's another team we should talk about. Kansas, they are the ones that lost to St. John's. Granted, they had a great comeback because I was on +3.5 Kansas. I thought I was dead.
All-time
And
cover.
they storm all the way back to cover and would have had a chance to go to overtime. They were just fouling in those final minutes, and strategy did not work out. Gave a clear path straight to the hoop at the end. And now people are saying also he could get fired from Kansas. So you'd get Kansas and North Carolina in the same carousel. That would be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. I feel like Self's safe if I had to put just because of the history. I know he's struggled in the last like whatever 4 or 5 years, but if you're North Carolina, I mean that's just it's not the standard, there. He's gone. Yeah,
He's
Herbie.
gone. And what did you think about Darren Peterson during this tournament, right? Like there was a lot of eyes on him, and he was a 4 seed against a 5 seed in the St. John's matchup. So, yeah, what'd you think?
I mean, I thought he played great in both rounds, honestly. But it was kind of exactly what I said, before the tournament started. Is like, I think he's going to be a great player in the NBA, but I just didn't feel like he was a March legend. I feel like those guys that need the March legends usually are not like the top draft picks. Like, it's happened a few times, but it's just a different like a lot of these guys don't even end up in the NBA. Like, Larry Nerd, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for St. Louis, like that's a March Madness legend. That's a guy you look at and you're like, okay, that guy's going to make some noise here. Darren Peterson, he's almost too good for the NCAA tournament, and I feel like that was kind of the stigma all year, is he didn't really care. So did he care about the loss? Maybe a little bit, but he's about to go make however many millions of dollars. He doesn't really give a fuck.
Yeah, he shouldn't give a fuck. But it did bring up some concerns to me because there were just times in the Cal Baptist game, he didn't touch the ball for the final like 7 minutes of the game.
No.
And he had the most points in the game. Every possession, I was just like, why are you not just giving the ball at least once? Let's just try an ISO. Let's just give him a chance. Wasn't working. But I don't know. I don't think it'll hurt his draft stock much. I think the more concerning thing is in the press conference after the game, he talked about how he was having like mental issues. It wasn't physical this season. So there were reports that he's afraid of flying.
Mm.
So that was like another piece to it where he had to like get over his anxiety of flying, things like that. So who knows? And he could end up being a head case, right? That's a possibility. I don't want to say it, but you see a lot of these NBA guys, they get in there and you get a Joel Embiid. I hate to say it. Joel Embiid, yeah, you get hurt all the time, but I also think there's a mental aspect to it too.
Yeah. What about it's like a Markel Fultz type situation. I mean, I don't know if it was a head case necessarily, but that's same type deal. I feel like where
Yeah, you
it's
got like the yips.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, fear of flying, you kind of fly a lot in the NBA.
Yeah, you might have to fly more. Who knows?
82 games.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, that's crazy. But Iowa, Florida, obviously, got to talk about that one. That was awesome. Um, I love this Iowa team. Coach McCollum's like a D2 legend, I guess. I didn't know anything about this guy until this weekend, but a D2 legend, just wins. I love that we're kind of seeing some of these guys, pop up from smaller schools and just make big runs. I think college basketball's we're phasing out, right? We got a few legends left, right? Izzo's still pushing, Patino's still there. But the guys from our childhood are kind of phasing out, and we're getting some of these new legends in. We had Dan Hurley make a bunch of good runs. Bill Self will be done. So McCollum's young. I mean, he's only 40 something. So one of these big jobs, he could jump there, or maybe he just pulls a Signetti and stays at Iowa. But either way, that was fun. I don't love Florida. I didn't love watching Florida play. Like, they got a lot of hype towards the end of the season, and I kind of get it, but I feel like they weren't built for it. And I feel like they deserve to lose this game. And their coach is kind of a dickhead. I don't know why, but for some reason he just rubs me as a dickhead.
He's a big analytics bro, and yeah, I totally agree. He's a dickhead. And they were getting after it. Him and the Iowa coach
They almost
McCollum.
fought. Sick.
Yeah, yeah, they were screaming at each other a couple times, and there might have been a punch thrown. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there might have been a punch thrown in the first half of the game by the kid that ultimately hits the game winner. So Florida's like, hey, he shouldn't have been in the game. And the Florida coach said after the game, he said, that was just a normal basketball play. He didn't get thrown to the ground. He's just not as strong as Condon. Like, he was like, hit the weight room, basically.
He
And
said they
then,
got sensitive.
well, then, yeah, I think the Iowa coach said they got sensitive.
Uh-huh.
So one of the coaches is like, hey, hit the weight room. The other coach is like, you guys are sensitive.
Yeah.
We should throw blows if we want to throw blows.
Yeah. Who hit it? It was Stritz, right? That hit it, and then he threw the punch earlier.
No, it was some crazy like Greek last name.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
knew in the post game interview he was like, yeah, he called his own shot, and then the
Mhm.
kid was just like, yeah, that was me, in like a foreign accent. And they started talking. I was like, yeah, I mean, he's definitely
Yeah.
banging threes. Like, that's just
Yeah.
Nebraska has a few of those guys too. Mast, like these foreigners coming over and just taking over the game.
Yeah, they're stealing our jobs, Joe.
Yeah.
We used to be the guys shooting threes. Now it's all these foreigners.
I did.
Also, fun fact.
I got one story for your fun fact.
Okay.
I played high school basketball, but by saying I played high school basketball, I was on the team. Uh, and it was summer league of my senior year. And one of my friend's dads, who's a football coach, he coached special teams. So he coached me snapping a little bit. He coached at Bama, like he coached all over. He's big time coach. He sat me down after one of our summer league games because I would just catch the ball at the top of the key and fire. Like I was not there to do anything aside from just jack threes, and I
But you were
wasn't the
getting
best
shots
shooter.
up.
Yeah, I'm a shooter shoot. That was my mentality. He pulled me over. He's like, hey, like you got a real future. New Jersey guy, New Jersey accent. He's like, you got a real future, playing college football. Like I believe in you. He's like, but if you shoot another three, I'm gonna come on the court and kick your ass. I was like, and the next game, pulled up, shot a three immediately, just pointed at him, flipped me off. Yeah, good times. That's my.
You made it.
That was the high school basketball summer league. It's the peak of my basketball career.
Yeah, I remember those days. Those are fun days.
Yeah,
Just playing in random mini gyms, just getting shots up. Meaningless games.
yeah. I wasn't getting any PT during the season. That's for damn sure.
Right, you got to get them up. Anytime you step into a game where there's a regulation clock running, yeah, we just got to start shooting. Guys like me and you. Fun fact for you was going to be that this coach for Iowa, him and Ben Sturtz have been together their whole time. So Sturtz was with him at the D2 school, and then they had great success. And then head coach goes to Drake. Sturtz follows him to Drake, becomes a little bit of a March Madness darling, and then Iowa job, and we see what's happening right now. Sweet 16.
I love it. I love that matchup. I mean, the
So
Sweet 16.
Sturtz to me is a March Madness guy.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly who you draw it up for. And this is the round where they become legends. This next round, we're gonna see some dudes become legends, I think.
Well, Joe, before we get into the Sweet 16, we'll make the listeners wait on that. And let's dive into just other sports. There's not a whole lot to talk about this week, but we can kick it off with opening day for Major League Baseball starting this week. And Joe, give me a World Series prediction.
Dodgers.
Who is that?
Dodgers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard they're pretty good this year.
Didn't even have to finish the sentence. I don't know what we're doing here. You can't. What are you going to bet against that roster? Like it hasn't gotten worse. They added more. They paid more. Like, yeah, this is all coming down. Isn't the CBA the collective bargaining that's like next year or something like that? So this is a real test on the salary cap stuff. Like it's the Dodgers. If it's not, then great. Like baseball will be back a little bit, but it's the Dodgers.
I will also be taking the Dodgers, and that is MoJoe's coverage of baseball. That's what's happening in baseball right now. It's the Dodgers. The Dodgers are happening, and I will say they're testing out the automatic AI strike zone. Yeah, and I didn't know this about it, but if you're the batter and you want to challenge a ball or a strike, you have to do it immediately before you make any other movements. You have to tap the top of your head. And so somebody did it this week where they were like, "Oh, that was clearly a ball." And he just like twirls the bat in his hand and then taps the top of his head, and the umpire's just like, "You're gone. You're out."
Can't do it.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, because you twirled the bat. Like, you have to sit in your stance and tap straight from there.
I feel like a lot of guys kind of do that, like as they're, like they're gonna be like a ball 4 and they're gonna accidentally do it or like take off their helmet or something, and just get a review and call it strike 3 or something. That's a stupid fucking rule. I don't get that.
Oh, it's a terrible rule.
Yeah.
In the other spring training too, I saw there was one umpire who he was like, "All right, they're reviewing the call," and he left his mic on, and he goes, "Please be a strike." and then he has the most shocked look on his face because he could hear it through the speakers. That was all time.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think it'll be good. I think it's good. They're doing everything they can to speed up the game, and that's just like a quick review type thing. But I feel like that first move thing is gonna that's gonna cause some problem.
It
There's gonna
gives
be
it
some
gives
big
power to
call.
the umpires, though. The
Yeah.
umpires can just always be like, "Ah, no, I saw you move." Like,
Yep.
we're not even gonna review it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. The
Did
guy's gonna get hit like in the face, but he's gonna be like, "Oh, you moved. You can't review it or something like that. It's a foul ball. Like I called it." Yeah. I don't. I
It's
don't
gonna
get
get
that.
abused.
I didn't know that rule.
Did you hear the broadcasters on the spring training game this morning? There's a great all-time announcers moment, but the commentator just turns to his partner and he's like, "Have you ever seen Buck with his pants down?" And the guy is shocked. He's like, what?" And the guy's like, you know, with his pants." He's like, "What do you mean pants down?" He's uh, like he's not showing his socks." And the guy's like, "Oh, gotcha." But yeah, all-time moment, all-time line. Have you ever seen Buck with his pants down?
Yeah, we're gonna. This is the start of baseball. It's always like the first 2 weeks I get into it. I'll watch a couple games and then I just tune out until about September.
Yeah, that's the schedule.
Yeah,
It's just so tough because they block out the whole summer. They
I
just
know.
have the whole summer. They
I
own it.
know. I will catch a couple Diamondbacks game every year. I do like going out. I like baseball in person. It's awesome in person. But this year I saw that. I don't know if this was fake. I can't decide if it's fake or not. But there was somebody posted that the Diamondbacks are putting out a like a cottage cheese cup.
Real.
It's real. Okay, yeah. So that looks absolutely fucking disgusting, and they're putting like a full like imagine a red Solo cup except it's clear, and it's just cottage cheese with a tahine rim and like some veggie straws stuck in it. So I don't know if anybody's been to the stadium. It is inside, but it is still 115 degrees most summer days here in Phoenix, and cottage cheese does not do well in the sun. So I may just go eat one of those every day, hoping for a class action lawsuit.
It looks like a milkshake almost.
Yeah, I
And
bet it doesn't taste like one.
I showed my fiance and she was like, "I would love to go get one." Like, she's like, "That's right up my alley." And I was gross.
Yeah, that's my mom likes those too. My wife likes. I'm not a cottage cheese man.
Yeah. Uh, I'll mix it. I'll mix it into it's good protein. So you throw it in, you make some pasta, like red sauce, whatever you
Uh-huh.
want. Then you throw some cottage cheese in it, and it gives it a little creamier taste.
I could do that. I could do a mix in, but it's like
Yeah.
Greek yogurt for me. I fucking hate Greek yogurt. It's the smell. I don't know
Oh,
what it is. I know there's good protein. I'll do normal yogurt, but the Greek, I can't do the smell.
you don't like mayo, huh?
I don't mind mayo. I'll tolerate. What I don't like that I get the most hate for is ranch. I fucking hate ranch
And you got a problem with dairy.
with
That's what it
white
sounds like.
sauce. No, I like
Yeah.
cheese. I like milk. I can drink. I can drink a lot of milk.
Man, I love white sauce.
Yeah,
And
white sauce. Like whites, like Alfredo. I'll fuck with
yeah,
Alfredo. Yeah, but I'm talking
yeah.
like white
Anything creamy
sauces.
though. I like anything creamy. So
Ranch
good.
isn't creamy. It's just yucky.
Yeah, you can get creamy, right? Well, football news for this week. The biggest news was there was a big flag football tournament with influencers, NFL players, former NFL players, actually NFL owner Tom Brady, and we also had Team USA out there representing the country for flag football. And Team USA won. They beat all of the NFL players. They beat Logan Paul and I Show Speed, whoever else was out there. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to watch it. I only caught the highlights. Looked like Tom Brady. He's still got it. And I thought this was going to be a lot of discourse, but the flag football dudes, they were like, oh, yeah, the NFL dudes were chill, like good athletes. They just came into a game that's not their game. And I think a lot of people are surprised that the NFL players didn't just go out there and dominate.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, was it all NFL guys on one team though? Like they kind of split them up, right? So it's like I don't know. I feel like on defense, the USA guys might have a slight disadvantage because I saw some of the highlights too, and those guys that are playing flag football, they evade tackles just a little differently than in the NFL. They don't have to worry about getting clocked. But I don't know. I saw the score too, and maybe we're wrong about it. But I still think the NFL dudes would have a better chance. Maybe I'm totally off on that. I still think
If
we should
they,
have two USA teams.
ooh, interesting. We'd have two USA teams. Yeah, I mean, we would end up playing each other in the finals.
It's what
That's the
everybody
problem.
wants.
I
That's what
just
we
don't know
want, though.
what country is going to compete with us.
Even in flag, even those USA
Yeah.
flag dudes, they're gonna run the scores up. Yeah.
My favorite highlight of it, though, there was one time where Saquon tried to do like a jump juke and just like couldn't get it through. There were two guys right there, and he just falls onto them and they flying. And like right then, you are reminded, oh, if this was actual football and they had
Oh,
pads on, these guys would be getting just flattened
murdered.
every
Yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah. No, it made me less excited for flag football. If I'm being totally honest, in the Olympics, I kind of thought it'd be like a fun watch, but I don't know if I'm buying.
I think it's going to be fun because we're going to dominate. I
But
mean, our
yeah,
team is better than any NFL All Star team. We just put out NFL All Stars and then we beat them. All right.
yeah.
So you think France is going to come in and take the crown?
No,
Probably not.
yeah, no. I don't think there's gonna be anybody that challenges us. But hopefully that'd be fun. Maybe we see a Chinese Taipei team just come in and shock the world.
Give me a future right now. You got to take a dark horse on the flag football Olympic tournament. Which country would you take? You can't take USA.
Mm. Give me Canada. They play football up there. They might have a little bit of something to roll with out there.
That's sharp. I'll go with Japan.
Mm.
I got to play out there in Japan in an All-Star game, and they're playing football out there too now. So yeah, let's get our futures in early.
Yeah.
Probably like 200 to 1.
Oh yeah, minimum.
Easy. Well, now we can get back to the real business, Joe. Let's dive in. This is going to be our Sweet 16 preview, and we'll just go through each game. And Friday, better than Thursday, but Thursday, not bad, right? Every game is going to be good, in my opinion. So we're going to kick off the week Thursday with Texas versus Purdue. And I feel like Purdue is playing as good as they've played at any point this year, starting to look like that number one overall team that they were going into the season. So, how do you see this one shaking out for the Cinderella that is Texas?
Yeah, I've told you before the tournament started. I love Purdue. They're my national champion. I will be hammering -6.5. I think Purdue's going to run away with this one. I am like you. I'm not a buyer in Texas. I think they're solid, but I think Purdue is at another level right now, and it feels like those seniors that kind of got jaded the 3-4 times. They're here to play. So I am all over Purdue here, and I'm expecting them to win big.
Yeah, these guys have already been to a Final Four. They got the experience. I think they have a really smooth blend between their big three. I think I talked about it last week, but you got a great floor general point guard. You have your spot up shooter that's absolutely wet. And then you've got a big inside that you can feed that can score from inside as well. So I don't really like Texas. The line where it's at right now, 7.5. Oh, it's down to 6.5 actually.
Hammer.
Now is the time I think I'm taking Purdue at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
And if they lose, will I feel like an idiot? Yeah, I'm gonna,
No.
Joe. I'm sorry. I'm gonna, because guess what? That's what they always do. They always come up short. They're still looking for that national championship, right? They've got all these tournament appearances. They've got a total of 36 appearances right now, and only 3 Final Fours to show for it. 0 natties.
No natties. No natties.
No natty, or don't. But it sounds like we both like Purdue -6.5, huh?
Yep.
After that, we get your favorite matchup, Iowa versus Nebraska. Joe, I might be in the minority, but I think this is a gross game. And gross doesn't mean bad. Don't take it that way.
I
But I
don't care
think it's
what you say.
never have.
Yeah. Gross. I mean, this is a football matchup that we're getting in the Sweet 16, and I don't think it's going to be gross at all. I think the energy is going to be absolutely sick. people that don't know about this rivalry, this is a huge rivalry. I mean, Iowa's kind of dominated in football, so it doesn't get the cred that it, deserves necessarily. But there's a heroes walk where they like walk from each city to the other city for football. And it's like a big tradition honoring veterans. So this game means like a lot to these fan bases, and I think the fact that we're getting this matchup in the Sweet 16 is unbelievable. So I am beyond excited for this game, and I think Nebraska has a real chance, but I think Iowa's dangerous. So Nebraska's kind of been 1.5, 2 point favorites aside from that first game with Troy, but I still think people had that 12-5 matchup as their, circled 12-5 upset. And nobody's really believes in Nebraska for good reason because it's the first time they've ever gone past the first round. So I think this game's going to come down to some white dudes shooting threes, and it's some white foreign dudes shooting threes. They're very evenly matched. They split the season 1-1. But I think this game is going to be maybe the best atmosphere in terms of traveling fan bases that we get in the entire Sweet 16, because these guys have been craving some championship ball, and they haven't really seen it on the football field either school. Iowa's been good. They've had some championship Big Ten, but they haven't really had any playoff, meaningful games, and Nebraska for sure hasn't. So this game means a lot to both fan bases, and they both love football. So this is just like an extension of football season for them, and it's going to be sick.
I'm honestly surprised. I didn't hear more about the possibility of this matchup going into the tournament.
Same.
Nobody was talking about, hey, if Iowa can pull off an upset, we can get Nebraska, Iowa. Like, I don't think anybody really had that on their bracket.
No, I had it split for Nebraska Vandy. Like I kind of split that game because I thought it could go either way for that one. But I didn't put Iowa past Florida in any of my brackets. If anything, I thought maybe Nebraska would be able to sneak up and beat Florida, but yeah, definitely not Iowa. So this is a very nice surprise.
And I'm assuming you're on Nebraska -2.
Yeah, this is emotional hedge that I doubled down for the emotional hedge. So I wasn't too tied in though, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't expecting a whole lot, so this feels like house money for Nebraska. So I'm not going to be that torn up if they lose this game, but now that it's against Iowa, it makes it that much more meaningful and fun. So I probably will be a little sad if they lose this game.
You're going to hate me, but I'm on Iowa.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm riding the train right now. The boys are hot. The boys are playing. And just because of the Sturts March Madness history being there before with Drake, I feel like they got more experience. They got to have more experience than a school that's never won a game.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you don't know about Fred Hoiberg and his son, who's the point guard. So I mean, the matchup just has a ton of storylines, and they're almost like identical teams. They have small white point guards. They got a foreign white dude that shoots threes. Like it's a perfect matchup, and that's why the line's 1.5, because it's just who plays better that night. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But I do think the crowd is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really fun crowd.
Line's 1.5, over under 133.5. Low total for the boys.
Yeah, tickets are $507 to get in that one.
And if Nebraska does win, what do you think their chances of going to the Final Four are? Like, are you bought in at that point?
No, I'm not, unfortunately, because I really think that they're going to end up playing Houston. If they play Illinois, I will change my tune because I do think they've seen Big Ten play. They know that style of play a little bit better. But if it's Houston, I like Houston in that one. Houston's defense is just they'll smother them.
Well, I'm excited for the matchup. Iowa has never won a natty. They have 3 Final Four appearances. And then we already talked about Nebraska. They just have 1 Sweet 16 appearance to their name, and it happens to be this year. After that, we get Arkansas versus Arizona. I think this is the game, personally, for me, Thursday, that I'm most excited for. I love this clash because we've talked about it all year. Arizona's stacked to the gills at every position, so solid. Tough to really find a hole in their game. And then we already know Arkansas is the A-Cuff show, and he's running stuff. And he, unlike Darren Peterson, A-Cuff doesn't ever really feel like he's struggling. It always looks so easy, looks so smooth. I also think though Arizona, that's a that's a tall task.
Yeah, I agree. I think the factor that it's going to maybe push me to take Arkansas 7.5. I do think Arizona wins this game, but I think the 7.5 may be just a little bit too big of a spread, only because of Coach Cal. I think Coach Cal is in his bag right now, and talk about tournament experience out to prove Kentucky wrong. Like it feels like when he has a good point guard, which he does in Acuff, arguably his best, which a lot of people are tossing out there. Acuff could cement that legacy right now. He goes out, beats Arizona, has a great performance. I mean, he's disgusting, and he might take that spot in the draft that was kind of given to Darren Peterson. So I feel like Acuff, it comes down to him. Arizona's got a few dudes, but I have seen them struggle a couple times scoring the ball. So if Arkansas can jump out and jump out early, it might pose a problem for Arizona. That's the only reason I'm going to take Arkansas 7.5 here.
And that's the thing about Arizona. I think your best bet is to get them down early.
Yeah,
I think they would have a harder time coming back than some styles of teams, but they usually don't put themselves in a bad spot. If they do get down, it's usually not by much, and they can always make that comeback. And these are two teams, though, that have actually, they've done it. Arizona, national champion, 1997. Arkansas, 1994 national champion. And they both have multiple Final Four, Sweet 16. So Arkansas hasn't been the best as of late, but they could be getting it back, right? They could be a basketball school soon and coming. And yeah, I just hope this is a high, fast-paced game, and I want to see Acuff do well, but I think I'm going to be on Arizona for this one.
that's fair. I like it. I like the split.
Yeah, we got a lot of these. We're going at it today. And then we'll end the night with Illinois versus Houston. I'm not changing my Final Four. I don't know if you've had any thoughts. Obviously, you can't change your bracket, but you can change your opinions. I'm not changing my Final Four. I had Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Houston. And I trust Houston in this matchup against Illinois. I think these teams that don't have a lot of defense but can score at a very high rate, I think Sweet 16, Elite 8, that's when the problems usually arise.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm on Houston here too. I had Duke, Houston, Michigan, and Purdue. So I am all over Houston here. I thought that they would not run through this side of the bracket. I thought, Illinois could push them. That's the game I was worried about. And then obviously Florida would have been worrisome. But now with Nebraska, Iowa, I think if anything, they got to worry about a look ahead spot here because they see themselves in the Final Four and the path isn't that crazy. But Illinois is good. Illinois can score. Illinois, the Big Ten is been nasty. There's still 6 Big Ten teams, so they've proven themselves as a worthy conference this year. And I think this is going to be Houston's hardest test until they get to the Final Four. But I am on Houston, and I think 3.5 it's a fair line that scares me just a touch.
Yeah, it is. It's a really short line, and Houston, obviously, we know them for their defense. Illinois, we know for offense. So it's a great clash in this, and they're both looking for their first natty ever. So this could be the year we actually get the Houston natty, which would be a lot of fun. And people have talked about it too, but this is the tournament of coaches. I mean, the Sweet 16 we've already talked about. It's a number of great coaches, and I think Sampson down there in Houston, that's like really the one thing he's missing because I think everybody's so impressed with what he was able to do with this Houston team because not too long ago they weren't even in the Big 12, right? And they were still this powerhouse that everybody was terrified to play. And now you get Houston in the Big 12 and you're like, hey, they're still dominant through the whole regular season. So, yeah, I just love this team. We put out the video yesterday about Houston. Well timed. You dodged the bullet. You don't have to worry about Florida fans coming at your neck. So, sharp play there.
Yeah, I think Houston too is one of the older teams. They're one of the only couple teams that have guys that have been in the program for a number of years. So I think that poses well. And Like I said in the video, I love their center. I think he's unbelievable. I think he's super fun to watch. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun game, and it's in Houston. I know I
That's
was
what I was
just
gonna say. Home court.
it's in Houston. Yeah, I think their arena that they play in is sick too. Like it's pretty small, but it's brand new. Fertitta Center like a couple years ago,
Hmm.
and it's like an electric. They built it perfectly because I think it seats like 8 or 10,000, which is like the perfect size for a college basketball arena. It gets super loud. Obviously, this one's going to be in a little bigger venue, but I think Houston's got a good fan base, and they're a basketball school through and through. So I think this is going to be a super fun matchup. That is probably the second game I'm most excited for because I think that one's going to be tight. I think it's going to come down the wire.
And you brought up the Big Ten has 6 teams in the Sweet 16, which is the most they've ever had in a Sweet 16. And if we look at the conference breakdown right now, it's pretty surprising because I think we all had the Big 12 up there, and we all had I don't know, probably Big 12, Big 10, I guess is where I would go. Kind of down on the SEC and the ACC. And I was definitely down on the Big East. Big
Yeah.
East was gross this year. But now when we look at it, Big 10 has 6 in the Sweet 16, SEC has 4, Big 12 with 3, Big East with 2, and the ACC down there with 1 left.
Yeah. I don't think you can avoid the Big East situation either, where, if St. John's and UConn get it done, it'll be a rematch. But why didn't they put them in just different sides? Like, I
It's so
don't.
dumb.
It's so dumb. Yeah. I mean, the Big Ten, you couldn't really, they had so many teams in, like, they had 10 teams. So it's hard to not avoid a matchup there with Iowa, Nebraska. But at the same time, like, that's a matchup people are pumped about because it's teams you haven't really seen. But like St. John's, I would have loved to see St. John's run through, a Purdue down there and in the West, or maybe even the Midwest where we get like a Michigan St. John's matchup, something like that. I feel like that top left bracket was stacked in the East.
Yeah, I guess they were just praying they can get one of them to the Final Four. They're like, if we just put them all in the same region, we got to get one.
Yeah.
Genius. On Friday, though, we're going to start off with that game, St. John's versus Duke. And this is going to feel like college
Banger.
basketball,
Yep. Yep.
right? Like that is going to feel just like such a big game. 2 iconic programs. We have an absolutely iconic coach that's building a resume right now to put himself up there on the Mount Rushmore of great college coaches. Obviously, talking about Patino. And then you have Shire, who's trying to fill the big shoes left behind by Coach K. And we're going to find out how good he really is because Duke has not looked themselves this tournament. Obviously, had some injuries, but Boozer, even himself, he'll put up good stats, but when you're actually watching him, he's losing the ball over here, turn it over, just missing dumb shots. And I don't know. They've had 2 scares, but at the same time, you always know,
It's
just like in
there.
that TCU game,
Yep.
TCU is hanging around, but the minute that they catch it and they ride that wave, they just blow the gates off people.
I know. And I feel like this Duke 6.5, it's kind of speaking to me as a trap. It really is because my first initial reaction is like, oh, Duke 6.5, that's easy. So I don't know. I feel like St. John's can cover. I think St. John's can win this game, not only cover. Like you said, there's been some cracks in Duke. So yeah, I can't decide what I've decided on this game. I do think that Duke will win the game, but I haven't decided if I'm going to lay the points with St. John's. I might tease it up a little bit, put in a parlay, something like that. I hope this game is close. I don't know if it will be, because Duke can flip it on at any second. But yeah, this is a classic college basketball lineup. And Friday, it's just kind of back to back to back bangers. I do think Thursday is going to be shockingly better. That's my hot take. I think Thursday is actually going to be a more fun college basketball day, but the lineup on Friday is iconic for all the blue bloods and the coaches, and it's a great lineup.
It's so beautiful to look at. I think I'll probably, man, this one's tough. I think I'll probably end up taking St. John's. I think it's a tough matchup for Duke. I think St. John's is just so physical. When I watched them against Kansas, they just out physical you. They were full court pressing like early in the game too. They're just trying to make you think about them 24/7, tire you out. And I thought that hurt. Yeah, maybe I'm flipping myself right now. I might be talking myself out of it. I was gonna say I think that hurt Darren Peterson
Yeah,
because he's not a super physical guy, and even Council is the other scorer for Kansas, not super physical. This might be actually a good matchup for Boozer
I
to
know.
really be like, oh, you want to get physical?
Bang a
Like
little
that's
bit.
that's kind of how I score.
Yep.
I like to get out there and post up, and yeah, it's just gonna be such a great game.
Yep. No, it's a tough. This might be the live bet of the weekend. Just to kind of see, that first couple minutes and see how it's shaking out.
Yeah.
What do you think about the total? It feels right in that like middle ground of where I kind of want to take an over.
Total right now 141 and a half. Yeah, it comes down to it. It's like, is this game going to be super physical and just like a brick fest? Yeah, I kind of lean under on this one.
Yeah, I
But
think
maybe that's what they want me to do.
I know. I feel like if you go under, you could parlay that safely with a St. John's cover, but if you go over, you could parlay that safely with a Duke cover. So it's like you gotta,
Yeah,
choose your adventure here.
pick your poison. After that, we get Bama versus Michigan. And we talked about it. Bama's rolling right now. Bama's super hot, might even get Holloway back. And then Michigan, they've looked like the best team in the country. Arizona's looked great. Duke's had their struggles. We just saw Florida fall. Michigan has just been on a mission lately. And that's kind of what we expected. And then the Big Ten tournament happened, and we said, oh, they might have some problems. No, not right now. And they're favored by 9.5. This is a very big spread. I'm I'm gonna hammer Bama.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all that being said, Michigan, they're playing the best ball in the country right now. I'm going to hammer Bama.
Yeah.
I think that Bama's been playing even better than they were before. Maybe it's because they're not smoking as much weed. They don't have a dealer anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I kind of lean with you. I think 10 is a lot, but Michigan could win this game by 20 because Bama is true live and die by the three, it feels like. So I don't know. I just feel like the total is kind of staring at me too. I feel like this one easily could go under. 175 is a lot of points. And I think if Bama doesn't catch fire how they have the first couple rounds, it's a new gym too. That's the thing. If this one it played in the first, the same gym as the first two rounds, I'd be like, oh, shooter's gym, clearly. But I don't know about the United Center. Is it a shooter's gym? I have no idea.
I like that, Joe. I really like that. Sweet 16 feels a little different when you
Mm-hmm.
get out there. A lot more
And
pressure.
prime
Uh,
time, they do. It's stacked, right? So it's not a standalone game, but it's definitely a little more prime time. But I think, yeah, I kind of like the Bama. I kind of like the Bama and the under, which
yeah,
doesn't
I
go
don't.
together at all. But I might take
No,
it.
no, it doesn't. Yeah, you're kind of talking me into this under as well. And this is coming from someone that I took the under in the Michigan St. Louis game, flew over, and I didn't touch it in the first round, but Michigan scored over 100 points, I believe, in the first game. So that one went over as well. Yeah, the total might have just gone too far up. And
Hmm.
then Joe comes back, sharp guy. He says, different gym. I like that. After that, though, Michigan State versus UConn. This is my favorite coaching matchup. We get Izzo versus Hurley, and two just rip your throat out type of coaches. And I'll tell you right now, I love Michigan State.
I know, but that feels like the consensus pick, and that's why I'm scared of it. But UConn, I haven't really believed in them this whole time. Like I really haven't. I I just it feels like Michigan State wasn't that good either. So these are two teams that I like kind of don't believe in, but at the same time, I could see them making deep runs just because of coaching, and they don't need like a guy. So my worry with UConn and why I think I might take Michigan State is because Carabin had like he was nuclear, like he went absolutely unbelievable, a career high. I think he had like what 27, 30, something like that. So can he repeat that? I don't quite see it. So I like Sparty here too.
It's tough though because we talk about Purdue, and one of the reasons we like Purdue is that they have all this experience. Caravan's got two national
I
championships
know. I
already.
know.
with a chance to become a dynasty. It's tough, but yeah, I like Michigan State in this. I think UConn is not as good. I think it's partially a name thing at this point. And yeah, they have proven me wrong through this tournament. They have looked the part, but Michigan State, there's something about them, the way they play. I really love it. Physical.
Yeah. I think it comes down to conference for me. Big 10, Big East. You know, it's like
Mm,
that's what I'm going to lean on with the Michigan State thesis.
yeah. And then we will end the Sweet 16 weekend with Tennessee versus Iowa State. I'm very happy. I picked Tennessee in all my brackets to go to the Sweet 16. So happy about Nate Ament. He's a freshman and he's coming into form right now. And then on the other side, Iowa State has looked awesome, dude. They are fun to watch, and they don't even have their best player right now. Jefferson, he rolled his ankle in the first tournament game, and it was a bad ankle roll. Like he had to get carried off, and he's questionable for this game. They're going to get MRIs. We'll see where he's at. Could be a difference maker, but man, I'd be afraid to bet against them right now because they are hot.
Yeah, I'd be scared too. I have a buddy that's a big Iowa State fan. He texted us and he's like, "Hey, best player broke his ankle. He's done for the season. He's out." So then coming back, it's questionable ankle sprain. I was like, "How this guy broke his ankle?" And I looked into it. He didn't actually break his ankle. So
No,
I didn't fact check that one, but I did not have Tennessee. That was a sharp move by you. I had them out relatively early. I was a little bit too high on Virginia. I think I was riding the Virginia train a little too much. That was our MoJoe champion pick, and that was pretty much on me. I convinced you into that one. So I hand up on that one, but I like Iowa State here. I think they're going to handle Tennessee just fine.
if it makes you feel better, I was going to take Kansas with our pick,
Okay.
so yeah, wouldn't have mattered. Would not have mattered. Yeah, this line sits at 4.5 right now. Another low total, 138.5. I did notice some metrics that Tennessee plays slower when he's not in the game. Jefferson seems like he's a big part of the offense getting it going. So maybe they've worked those kinks out. Maybe there's some room on the over for us, but yeah, 4.5. It seems like a good line to me, though.
Yeah.
It seems like one, and this is another trappy one to me too, because I think a lot of people are big on Iowa State.
Yep.
I don't think they're as big on Tennessee, despite making it to the Sweet 16.
Yep, that's too low. It's a little scary. And the over too. I mean, the over's calling my name, especially if Mama Mamovich gets hot. Mommy, yeah, he can bomb. I mean, Iowa State can score. That's the thing. Yeah, the total might be my play here. I might just ride an over. I don't have an over on the board, so I'm going to put that one on the board.
I had the under in the Iowa State game this past round, and it was so sweaty. The only reason it didn't go over is because Iowa State just dribbled the ball out. But it's one of those ones where you're like, they might put up a shot, they might not. And then it comes down to the other team. They're going to get one and they're going to let a three fly. And we were sweating it. My fiance is just like, I can't believe you like this, like that you like this feeling. She's like, I don't even have money on it. And I'm hating this right now. So welcome to it.
Yeah, that's why I sign up.
Joe, that's the whole Sweet 16 right there. I think I might have had some fun little stats for you. I'll start off with the first one, but out of the teams in the Sweet 16, who do you think has the most national championships?
I'm gonna go with. I feel like it's a trick question, so I'm gonna go with St. John's.
Oh, St. John's. They actually do not have a single one.
Okay,
So
nice. Yeah,
can't
good
be
pick.
them.
I
Good.
wanted to say Duke, but that seems too obvious.
Right. And that's where I wanted you to go. Duke is in second. UConn has
Mm,
the most out of
makes
this group,
sense.
and partially because they've won two of the last three. So there's that. But Duke does have the most appearances. Duke also has the most Sweet 16s of any of these. So uh, pretty interesting there. And then I was going to ask, we've got Sweet 16 NIL payments for each school. Who do you think has the most?
Like highest amount.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
I'm gonna go Michigan.
Nope. This one is actually Duke out of
Okay.
this Sweet 16.
Okay.
Michigan's third, Arkansas second,
Yeah, Walmart money, baby.
and then St. John's fourth, Arizona fifth. So yeah, seeing Arkansas up there, it's pretty crazy. You say Walmart money, they got the owner of Walmart, the CEO,
Yeah, the family that started Walmart, big Arkansas
Akash.
donors. Yeah, so if you
That's
see if the Walmart logo, I think it's the Walton family. They're
oh, okay.
all over the football stadium too. Could just be completely making it up, but I'm 99% sure that they have Walmart money.
Hey, I'll buy it.
It's some big mega corporation, and I'm 99% sure that it's Walmart.
I can't wait for them to start wearing the patches.
Yeah, that's just
Walmart patch on every
they're gonna start
Arkansas
wearing
jersey.
Shaq dunks as their tournament
Yeah.
shoes.
All right, last one. Cost of attendance per school for an out-of-state student. Which school do you think has the highest?
Want to say Duke again, but I'm gonna go with Michigan.
Ooh, those are the top two.
Okay.
Duke is first.
Yeah.
Duke is first. $94,000 a year. That's high.
That's
Who do you
high.
think has the lowest?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with it's out of state tuition.
Out of state, yes.
I'm gonna go Houston.
Bang! Houston, 27,000
Just a
for
good
out of
public
state.
public institution, public state school, baby.
That's right. Followed by Purdue and Iowa State, I
Yeah.
think, and then Iowa. So, and then Nebraska. Yeah, this all makes plenty of sense.
Yeah. Wait, Purdue is low?
Purdue is 36,000. So it
Oh.
was second lowest.
Purdue's a damn good school. A lot of engineers, a lot of money out there too.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But cost of living or something must be cheap. I don't know.
St. John's very high acceptance rate. 86%.
That's got to be close to Arizona State, which
Yeah.
is like 100%.
Up there. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Walmart headquarters is in Arkansas, so I'm just going to take that as that I was right. I don't 100% know, but why else would it be in Arkansas? So, yeah, it's they got Walmart money, and they are not afraid to spend it on college sports, which I love.
As they all should. That's what I would do with all my money.
100%. Yep.
I'd
NFL
buy an
team.
NFL
and,
team.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
donate a fuckload of money to NIL.
Bingo.
UNLV
winning
would
that.
be rocking right about now.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Just give us 20 years, 30 years when we invent something with AI.
Once we sign that Netflix deal.
Yeah. Yeah, or that. That's better. We're not going to invent shit. Who am I kidding?
Joe, update on our picks. So we have a challenge going. We're trying to pick the national champion. Last week we did a draft.
I'm really excited for this update, by the way.
Okay, we got 5 teams each, and the loser has to do a solo pod, minimum 10 minutes, and you got to treat it like a press conference, talk about what went wrong in your tournament run. So we'll start with me, I guess. I have Duke looking okay, a little shaky. Then I have Houston.
Pretty
Houston just got a big bump.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. We'll skip that one. Got Iowa State. Iowa State looks good.
Yeah, except their best player's hurt, but that's right.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. He's just a broken ankle. You said it yourself. Then we got Michigan State.
Pretty
Love
good.
the
Pretty
matchup.
good. Yeah.
And then we finish off with Florida.
Yeah, first one out. First one out.
First one out of the group. That one's going to hurt. Joe, looking at you, you have Arizona. Still looking strong. Michigan, best team right now. UConn, still in it. Purdue, they've got a good route. And then Arkansas. So guaranteed to get a winner. Also guaranteed to get a loser out of Arkansas, Arizona.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right about this, and I look forward to the solo pod from you.
Yeah, if Illinois beats Houston, that's going to start hitting the panic button. That's when it'll be. We were also going to introduce a Let It Fly segment, new segment where we just get off some takes right at the end of the show, but running low on time. I think we're going to push it to next week. So look out for that. That's when we're going to give out our hottest, most controversial takes at the very end of the episode when nobody's listening. So if you want to know the deep shit that we're thinking, you got to stay till the end.
Yeah.
But
Pre-show stuff. Pre-show stuff there.
pre-show stuff.
That's the stuff we talk about off camera. That when we're putting a couple things on camera, in the hopes that nobody sees it at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we would have got canceled years ago if we posted the 20-minute talks we have right before we click record.
Yeah.
But now you're getting a taste of it.
Just a small taste.
Yeah, just a little taste. We'll see
Subscribe
how much
to our Patreon in order to get the rest of
it. Yeah. But Joe, maybe we put out a graphic for our picks on Thursday and Friday this week. So we'll remind you guys of those. But once again, as always, appreciate you guys coming by, MoJoe Sports, and we are excited for the Sweet 16.
Adios. Go Big Red.